Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video where we are going to talk about goals and your busy life. Especially this time of year, I know that you are probably feeling incredibly overwhelmed with the amount of things you have going on. And I want to be the first to tell you, your goals are important, but they're not the only thing going on. And so if you need to take a pause or you need to prioritize something else, that's okay. I am not going to be the person who sits here and tells you you always have to be hustling and you always have to be focusing on your goals. But as we round the corner into the new year, my guess is life is still gonna stay busy. Life is still going to stay chaotic and life is still going to life. And if you're here listening to me talk, you probably like the planning aspect of things, right? You probably like to plan out your life. You probably like to plan out your goals. And you're probably pretty decent at it. You can plan and plan and plan, and then something happens and that plan goes off the rails. And I did a video last month about when your week goes off the rails. This is not gonna be as specific of a video. This is gonna be more general tips about how to fit goals before you even start planning. So things to think about when you are planning those goals to make sure that they fit into your life and not the other way around. Because what I've found, what happens, it's happened to me, it's happened to so many members of our community, is that when you plan your goals for an ideal life, you plan your goals based on what you think they should look like or what you really want them to look like or what you believe you could actually achieve. And I'm not gonna tell you that you can't achieve that. You can absolutely get there. But when you plan based on that ideal state instead of where you are at currently, when life's and that plan can't be executed, that goal plan can't happen the way that you intended, you do nothing. And then it spirals and you get into this negative mindset, negative like actual spiral of, well, then I just am not good at goals or I'm never going to achieve this goal. And it just happens and you stop trying and then no goals get achieved. So I'm going to share with you 3 reminders, 3 things to keep in mind as you are planning your goals into your actual life, not your ideal life. Number 1 is you've got to shrink the goal until it fits into your regular day. Yes, shrink your goal is just another way of saying make it smaller. But what I mean by this, your goal action steps, whether it's a daily habit, a weekly habit, or a one-time step, which by the way, I am re-uploading. If you haven't noticed, for the entire year of 2025, I have been re-uploading the teaching points from last year's live chats on Fridays. And right now I'm re-uploading the ones all about goal action steps. Those are fantastic videos for you to revisit as we start to plan and break down goals for the new year. So last week it was the one-time steps, this week it'll be weekly, so on and so forth. Those videos I think are huge and beneficial for you to keep in your back pocket, rewatch as we start to think about next year, especially if you feel like you need a refresher on the different types of goal action steps. Okay, aside over. Whether you are planning, what doesn't matter which one of those action steps you're planning, you have got to make sure that it fits into your regular average life, right? Like I already mentioned, we need to stop planning for our ideal day. Maybe in an ideal day, you're getting in bed and you're reading 30 minutes before bed. But right now, if you do that, by the time you get your kids to bed, get things set up for tomorrow, do the dishes, whatever other things you do to kind of close up your house, by the time you do all that and you get in bed, if you read for 30 minutes, all of a sudden you're getting 6 hours of sleep. I am the first person to tell you that sleep is incredibly important and I would never suggest that you sacrifice sleep for your goals. In fact, I think sleep is a very important goal if it's something that you want to prioritize. So right now, reading for 30 minutes before bed is not necessarily going to fit. So what can you shrink it down to so that it does actually fit? Or in this scenario, in this example now that I'm talking it out loud, I'm like, well, you could actually, maybe you do something else first, right? Maybe you pivot something else. You try to push your wake up time or you try to get in bed earlier, right? You change a different aspect of your day-to-day life in order to make space for that. Either way, you're shrinking it down into your current regular day. If you pick your goal action steps based on your best day, you're only gonna do those action steps on your best day. I don't know about you, but how often do you have your best days, right? I talk all the time about this spectrum, this energy spectrum of how your days play out, right? Some days it is your best day. Call that superhero day, right? I feel like right now being 20 something weeks pregnant, I never have a superhero day. But when I'm not pregnant, there's usually a couple days a month. Usually it lines up with certain times of my cycle, depending on how I slept, how my daughter slept, what the weather is doing. I have these like awesome superhero days. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you're gonna have days that are just like not good. The Alexander's no good, very bad day, right? Days where things just like don't go as planned. Everything is kind of going off the rails, and a lot of things don't get done. We're not planning for either of those scenarios. We're planning for this middle. We're planning for your average day. What happens on your average day? What happens when the regular stuff goes on? I want you to pick goal action steps based on those regular average days. Maybe you just read a book or listened to a podcast that talks about this concept of morning pages, right? Where you get up in the morning and you journal 3 straight pages of, I think it's 3. Clearly I've never done it to its capacity because it takes a long time to handwrite 3 straight pages of journaling. I don't know if you've ever tried. And that is a big commitment. And maybe that's what you would like to do someday, or it sounds really great. But right now, getting up with enough time to do that is not feasible. Could you start by just writing one thing you're grateful for? I also just listened to a podcast about somebody who meal preps every single one of their meals. Now, they do have a health condition that requires them to make a little bit more planning for their meals, so it's definitely a priority for them. But on Sunday, they literally pick a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner, and they prep it for the entire week. That sounds awesome. And maybe that's something that you would like to do as well. But let me tell you, going from prepping no meals to 21 meals, do that math in my head, over the course of the week, that's a lot. That is a big jump. Could you start by just prepping one of those things, right? Just breakfast, just lunch, one dinner, right? Because trying to do all 21 meals, right? You're gonna have to set aside hours. And maybe you do have hours on the weekend. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe you could fit in hours. But for me, if I started tomorrow or this weekend to try and just fit 5 hours of meal prep on a weekend, I'm not sure where I'm finding those 5 hours. So if I make that the plan, and then we get to Sunday, and I'm like, okay, I need 5 hours to meal prep all this, Sunday Laken would be like, that's not gonna happen, and so then I would just do none of it. But if I plan in advance for something smaller, maybe I say, okay, on Sunday, during Lila's nap, you take an hour to cook a breakfast casserole that you're gonna eat throughout the week. That is a lot more feasible. So as we start to break down our goals for next year, I want you to think about how you can shrink your goals to fit into your average, regular life, not this superhero dream. And I think this is really important to keep in mind now, because we all have this extra boost of excitement and ambition and motivation that comes with the new year. And I want you to ride that wave. But I also want you to be realistic, because in the middle of February, when things get hard, it might be a little bit tougher for you to get up and journal for 3 straight pages. Number 2 thing I want you to keep in mind is not really the opposite, but kind of on the flip side, is to stop waiting for the perfect season. I have been torn with whether to call it, like, seasons of life is a phrase that people use a lot. But I actually really like the phrase chapter of life. Now, there are going to be seasons of life, right? Like the holiday season is something that happens every year. It adds a lot of excitement. It also adds a lot of busyness and extra things to our to-do lists. But there's also what I like to consider chapters in our lives. And so these are things that as soon as they're done, we're likely closing that chapter and we're not going to get to that chapter again, right? So like this current chapter where I have a 2-year-old and I'm pregnant, yes, some people will refer to that as a season of life, but it's not, in my mind, it's not happening again, right? There's never going to be a time in my life where this exact situation is happening again. So it's actually just a chapter. This is the chapter in my life where I have a 2-year-old and am pregnant. And I was actually just talking to my husband the other day. There was something that he was like, I kind of wish we did this a little bit differently and didn't rely so much on like a convenience factor. And I had to be like, this is the chapter. I think I actually used the word season, but you know what I mean? This is where we're at right now. I certainly do not have the capacity to pivot to something a little bit less in that convenience factor. I don't know if you do, but I think there's other things that are more important right now for us to do. Now, that said, when it comes to your goals, sometimes we get caught up saying, well, I'm gonna wait until X. I'm gonna wait till things are less busy. I'm gonna wait until things are less chaotic. I hate to break it to you, that's not gonna happen. things are always going to be chaotic. Things are always going to be busy. If it is important to you, I want you to try to prioritize it now. Now, going back to the example with my husband, what he brought up is not important to me, so I'm not going to prioritize it. If he decides that he wants to prioritize that, great. He can sacrifice something else in his schedule to prioritize that. For me, it's not important. But if there's something that does come up that's important, try to stop saying when XYZ happens, then I will do that. Because what happens is you say, okay, when XYZ happens, you get to that point and then something else pops up. And all of a sudden now you're like, well, now I have to wait for this. And then you're waiting and waiting and then it never happens, right? I don't want you to get to that place. I would rather you start prioritizing it in what way you can now. Stop waiting for the perfect season, for the perfect chapter, because they're just not going to happen. And that progress that you can make it now while you're waiting for XYZ. And it may look different, right? That's one thing that I have had to accept. There might be certain things that you actually cannot do until XYZ, right? Whether it's financial, it's a time resource. So if there is something that is like a really obvious holding you back, what is a step you could take to start making progress towards that? Right? I think a big one before we bought our house was always like, well, someday we want to buy our house. And there were lots of things I used to say in our rentals. And I was like, well, when we own. And like, now we own. And sometimes I'm like, well, now I don't want to do that thing because of XYZ. And I'm coming up with a different reason. So then I have to ask myself, like, is that actually something I wanted to do? Figure out if there is a way for you to start to make progress while you're waiting for whatever it is that you're waiting for. It may not be ideal. It may not be perfect. It may not look exactly the way you want it to look, but I want you to try your best to start as soon as possible. And the last reminder, and this is probably the toughest one for me. I feel like I've kind of mastered those first two pretty well. And that is to have other options. Have plan B. Have other choices. There's more than one way to achieve a goal. In fact, there's probably a zillion and one ways for you to achieve any goal that you have. And you may break it down thinking, well, this is the step that I'm going to take. But then for whatever reason, because of life, because of busyness, because of schedules, you can't do that. A lot of us who like to plan, like to only have plan A, right? We like to only have, this is the choice. This is the step I'm gonna take. But what if you gave yourself, okay, I could do step A or I could do step B. I could do this choice or I could do this choice. And I'm not trying to add more decisions into your life. What I'm trying to add is a little bit of flexibility. It's easy. I'm like talking to myself right now. It is easy to get into this rigid structure of like, this is the only way and this is the way I'm gonna achieve this goal. But then life happens and option A is no longer an option. And if you haven't thought about what could be option B, then you just do nothing and you don't make any progress, right? I feel like I really tried to embrace this in October with doing some sort of organizational project in our house. I almost said my house. I feel like it's our house. I own this house with my husband. There were kind of three things that I wanted to work on. One was organizing the basement so they could start the project to finish it. One was organizing my daughter's baby clothes for baby number 2. And one was organizing my scrapbook supplies. They all fit into this category, this box of organizing something in our house, but they were all very different. They all required different energy levels. Like the basement was a lot more physical. Like I was actually moving stuff around. Organizing my daughter's baby clothes was, I could sit in one place with my box, but it was a lot more of an emotional option. And then organizing my scrapbook supplies, I hadn't even started that project. And so it felt overwhelming to even start. And spoiler alert, I didn't end up starting it till November. If you watch my goal check-in videos, you know what I'm talking about. The point is I gave myself choices. And so I had these overarching things I wanted to do over the course of the month. And then my goal was to do at least one small piece of those every day. And I could pick based on what fit into my schedule, right? Was I doing it when my daughter was napping? Then her clothes were in her room, so I couldn't do that. Was I doing it when I had a lot of physical energy and then I could prioritize the basement? Was I doing it when my daughter was awake and with me in the basement and so that I could prioritize that? Like I wasn't about to try to do my scrapbooking supplies while she was awake and next to me, but I could do the basement stuff while she was there playing or coloring something nearby. Having these choices that all are working towards the same goal allowed flexibility to fit into my life because every day was looking different and every time slot that I had to work on my goals looks different. So when we are breaking down our goals, especially, again, I feel like that's the theme as we start to break down our goals for the new year, the the reminder that having options is okay. You don't have to pick the number one choice. You don't have to pick the best way to go about something. And in fact, having options and having that flexibility is really going to help you actually make progress on your goals in life when life is busy and chaotic. All right, that is it. Somehow I do not know how I talked for this long, but hopefully you found this video helpful. Again, I did a video recently about goals during chaos, and that video was more about temporary chaos, like something just like popped into your life and kind of threw you off the rails. This video is meant to capture more of that like everyday regular chaos that a lot of us are feeling right now in the holiday season, but it's not gonna go away just because the new year comes in January. Speaking of the new year, it is almost time for our 2026 goal prep workshops. I cannot believe that. Every year for the last couple of years, I have done live three-hour workshops to help you prep for the new year. They are all in December. I'll pop up the dates here so you can see them. They all are from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. Definitely going to be recorded if you can't join us live. I understand that time doesn't work for everybody, but they will go on sale on Black Friday at a super discount. So if you're interested in joining, make sure that you're on the wait list to get the emails for Black Friday. They will still be on sale after Black Friday. They just won't be at a discount. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you made it all the way to the end, if you watched all the way to the end, comment below with, I can't even think of like an emoji that relates. Is there a tornado emoji? I feel like that's like how I feel about chaos. It's like tornado emoji. If there's not a tornado emoji, do like a cloud emoji, I guess. I should have planned my emojis in advance, but that is gonna be it. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. That's not what I meant to say. Let me say that again without such a weird pause. The window was cracked and that truck was being loud. Half of those. No, not even half. I don't want to say that. That's a bad example. I don't want to use that. Hold on. That we are a lot of us.